The purpose of these lessons is to show you the logic behind the most basic Chinese characters, beginning with the simplest pictograms, and later combining these elements to create more complex characters. This is the second of 3 installments based on ling, a person kneeling below a mouth descending from above. That mouth is issuing an order from heaven or other authority figure, while the kneeling person is respectfully receiving it. Our first character combines the metal radical jin with ling phonetic, together representing the metallic clapper of a bell that issues not an order from above, but a pleasant sound that we can enjoy. In other words, it's just a small bell. It's pronounced second tone, ling, ling. This character is not particularly common because it's a very specific object, but we can create 2 useful nouns, a doorbell and a fire alarm. 听到了门铃，狗一直不停地叫. On hearing the doorbell, the dog barked incessantly. 爸爸，听不到门铃，不然怎么没人来开门? Dad couldn't hear the doorbell. Otherwise, why wouldn't someone come open the door? 要是听到火警铃，急速走到宿舍大门外. If you hear the fire alarm, walk quickly outside the main entrance of the dormitory. Since ling is an order or command from above, the addition of the ear radical er creates the second tone character ling to indicate the action of the kneeling figure below. In other words, to listen carefully and respectfully to that command. This character is nearly always paired with ting for the expression ling ting, meaning to listen to. 你是我最伟大的聆听者. You are my greatest listener. 和尚很用心聆听我们的问题. The Buddhist monk listened intently to our questions. 信徒聆听着讲道者的生动语言. The congregation listened to the vivid language of the preacher. Today's third character does not contain the ling phonetic, but it is the semantic component of one that does. So I'm introducing it here first. It's the character for teeth. Not one tooth, but a full set of teeth. The oracle bone pictogram of a toothy smile was clear enough, but it later added the phonetic zhi as an aid to the pronunciation, which is chi, chi. Since we don't know the character for a single tooth yet, I'll limit myself to the extended meanings of this character, beginning with the idiom 口齿不清, meaning inarticulate speech, or to speak with a lisp. 他天生口齿不清，说起话来很吃力. He was born with a lisp and found it difficult to speak. 乞丐口齿不清，我听不出来他的意思. The beggar's speech was unclear, and I couldn't understand what he meant. Of course, objects that resemble teeth, such as cogwheels or gears, will naturally use this character. 齿轮卡死了，涡轮机无法启动. The gears were stuck, and the turbine would not start. Since our teeth are important for speaking, there's another use of 不齿 to mean unspeakable, unmentionable, disreputable, or beneath contempt. Certain things simply do not pass our lips, or our teeth for that matter. 这种不法行为是最令人不齿的。This kind of illegal behavior is the most disgusting. 这是我一生中看过最为人不齿的事情。This is the most despicable thing I've seen in my life. In English, we have the expression long in the tooth to describe a person who's rather old, because our gums recede as we age and our teeth appear longer. We also have the saying, never look a gift horse in the mouth, because doing so means you're checking the worn appearance of the horse's teeth to estimate its age, rather than just politely accepting the horse for what it is, a gift. It's therefore not surprising that the Chinese use the teeth to refer to the age of people and animals too. That brings us to today's fourth character, the semantic element 齿 for teeth, paired with the phonetic ling. The combination pronounced second tone ling, ling. The expression for age is 年龄. 你和我的年龄一样大. You are the same age as me. 她已过了当妈妈的年龄. She's past the age for becoming a mother. 我是家里年龄最小的一个. I am the youngest in the family. 她下个月就到成年的年龄了. She will reach adulthood next month. 他们的年龄在25到50之间. Their ages range from 25 to 50. 要加入你们的行列，有年龄的限制吗？ Is there an age limit to someone wanting to join your ranks? 从他的年龄来看，他个子是有一点高的。Judging from her age, she is a bit tall. An advanced age is rendered as 高龄. 家父在90高龄时过世的. My father passed away at the age of 90. 从事这种工作没有高龄限制. There is no upper age limit for this kind of work. 好几个国家已有少子化和高龄化两个问题. Several countries already have two problems, a declining birth rate and an aging population. Remember that adding 化 to a noun or adjective indicates a process, akin to English IZE or IFY. To exceed an age limit is 超龄, an obvious abbreviation of 超过年龄. 因为你超龄，不能加入这个活动. You cannot join this activity because you're over the age limit. Way back in Lesson 12, we learned the character for ice, 冰, the two-dot ice radical next to water, 水. Now we have the character for cold, the ice radical plus ling, the combination pronounced third tone, 冷, 冷. According to some etymologists, ling was chosen as the phonetic because any command from heaven was devoid of emotion and warmth and could not be resisted in any way. The same as with cold temperatures. Sounds a bit implausible, but you have to give them credit for trying to justify the combination. 你冷不冷？我给你我的毛衣好吗？ Are you cold? Let me give you my sweater. 今天是阴雨连绵的天气，冷得要命。It's rainy and freezing cold today. 怎么没有冷水？有人在清理屋顶的水塔。Why is there no cold water? The rooftop water tower is being cleaned. An air conditioner is rendered as 冷气机, a cold air machine. 请把冷气机开大一点好吗？ Could you please turn up the air conditioner? 冷气机开没多久就停，是怎么回事？ What's wrong with the air conditioner? It just stopped after running a while. In English, we have the combination ice-cold. It works in Mandarin as well. 冰冷。昨天，北京是阴霾冰冷的天气。It was hazy and freezing cold in Beijing yesterday. 男生们手拉手趟过冰冷的河流。The boys waded hand in hand across the icy river. 他往往用冰冷的目光看着我们。He often gives us an icy stare. 野餐时，大家都坐在冰冷的草地上用餐。During the picnic, everyone sat on the cold grass to eat. You may have noticed that Chinese often repeats an adjective for emphasis. Examples we've seen before describing size are 小小的、短短的、细细的. Describing color, 白白的、黑黑的、花花的. Describing position, 直直的、歪歪的、高高的. And describing sensation, 麻麻的、湿湿的、滑滑的. Sometimes those descriptors come after a noun, as in 眼巴巴的, anxiously awaiting, 气呼呼的, in a rage. Or come after a verb, as in 脱光光的, stripped naked. Or after an adjective, as in 阴森森的, gloomy and ominous. With today's new character, 冷, there are several ways to describe coldness to the touch or coldness of the human heart. The first examples with 冷冰冰 simply mean very cold. 今天早上有点冷冰冰的。It's a bit cold this morning. 银行家的口气冷冰冰的。The banker's tone was cold. 我特地去找他说明，他反而对我冷冰冰的。I made a special trip to explain it to him, but got an unexpectedly cold reception. Another expression is 冷若冰霜, literally as cold as ice and frost. 吵架之后，女友对他冷若冰霜。After their quarrel, his girlfriend gave him the cold shoulder. 他不把人看在眼里，冷若冰霜。She looks down on everybody and is as cold as ice. 在他眼中，我是个冷若冰霜、高高在上的女人。In his eyes, I'm a cold, aloof woman. 冷言冷语 implies cold, mocking, or sarcastic words or attitude. 照你的意思创业，不用理会他人的冷言冷语。Go ahead and start your own business. Ignore the naysayers and their sarcastic comments. 冷眼相看 means to look coldly, unfavorably, or unemotionally upon something. 占星术被冷眼相看。Astrology is looked down upon. 信口开河 会使人对你冷眼相看。Making irresponsible remarks will make people look on you unfavorably. 他像是个得道者，冷眼看世界，冷眼看人生。Like a person who has achieved enlightenment, she looks at the world and life with a dispassionate eye. Chilly, deserted, or desolate can be expressed by the phrase 清冷。他们在清冷的星光中走回宿舍。They walked back to the dormitory under the cold starlight. 他常常在清冷的车站里等待情人回来。He often waits in the cold, deserted station for his sweetheart to return. Sometimes those two characters, 清冷, are switched around and repeated, as in 冷清清 or 冷冷清清. The meaning is basically the same, cold, deserted, or desolate, with an added touch of loneliness or cheerlessness. 这么早出门，街头上当然冷冷清清的。Going out so early, of course the streets are empty. 在秋天的早上，首都显得冷清清的样子。On autumn mornings, the capital appears deserted. 女友走了以后，屋子里显得冷冷清清的。After my girlfriend left, the house seemed cold and cheerless. 这家泰国餐厅冷冷清清的，没什么生意。This Thai restaurant is deserted. Business is really down. Coldness naturally implies a lack of activity. So a cold door, 冷门, is one that is rarely opened, rarely used. 这个字太冷门了，很少被人使用。This is not a common character and is rarely used. 人急需的冷门货品，这一家都买得到。At this store, one can buy all those urgently needed but hard to find items. 我们要去稍冷门的景点，怕人众多。We're going to slightly less popular tourist spots because we're afraid of the crowds. Following that same logic, the phrase 走冷门 means to go where others rarely go, especially in reference to one's university studies or specialization. 毕业后，你若走冷门，就业机会就多了。After graduation, if you choose the less trodden path, you'll have more job opportunities. Again, if something is cold, it's rarely touched by warm human hands. So the phrase 打冷枪 refers to a shot fired from a hidden spot, a place from which you would not expect an attack. More common in everyday English speech is the phrase a stab in the back. 你就这样向你的朋友打冷枪? That's it? Just stab your friend in the back? Another cold feeling is when hope dies, leaving a person discouraged. The Chinese idiom is 心灰意冷. Literally, one's heart has turned to ashes, and any desire has gone cold. 我回家后，心灰意冷地倒在椅子上。When I got home, I collapsed into a chair in despair. 当时，他十分心灰意冷，差点想一了百了。She was so disheartened at the time that she almost wanted to end it all. Recall the idiom from lesson 14, 一了百了, literally, finish one, finish all. sometimes used as a euphemism for death as a means of ending all one's troubles. 这个憎恨的世界令人心灰意冷，不想活了。This hate-filled world is discouraging, causing people to not want to go on living. Today's fourth and final character is made up of the rain radical 雨 on top of the phonetic 令. Pronounced second tone, 令 令. The character for rain, you'll recall, is composed of a horizontal line for the sky, a cloud intersected by a vertical line indicating downward movement, 下, plus 4 raindrops. All that placed above today's base character, 令. Etymologists contend that since 令 is a command from heaven, it's therefore all good, all benevolent towards humankind. One example we've already seen is the polite way to say your mother, 令堂. Therefore, this new character originally referred to a kind of good, beneficial rain, specifically the gently falling, scattered raindrops after a downpour, indicating that the storm had passed. This light sprinkle of remaining raindrops gave rise to the idea of a scattered remainder, or leftover fraction of what had been a heavy downpour. This new character, 令, is extremely useful, entering into many common phrases, all of which come from this depiction of scattered raindrops. Beginning with 凌乱, meaning all over the place, confused disorder. 种种凌乱的思想从他心里被勾起来. All kinds of confused thoughts were dredged up. 屋子收拾一下，看起来不会这么凌乱了. Clean up the house so it won't look so messy. 挪开那些凌乱的盒子，我们好坐下来聊. Move those boxes strewn about so that we can sit down and chat. Meals are usually eaten at set times during the day, and any food eaten outside of those meals is considered a snack, tidbits consumed here and there. Or in Chinese, 零食, literally scattered out food. Another expression is 零嘴. 你书包里有零食吗? Do you have any snacks in your book bag? 这些中国零食用英语怎么说? What do you call these Chinese snacks in English? 不要在两餐之间吃太多的零嘴. Don't snack too much between meals. Another use of 零 is to indicate the scattered parts of a whole, otherwise known as 零件, spare, or replacement parts. 那家五金行卖种种汽车零件. That hardware store sells all kinds of automobile spare parts. 本国出口的零件不会比外国的差. Our country's spare parts exports are not inferior to those from foreign countries. To sell items wholesale means to sell them in large quantities so that shopkeepers can resell them to the public item by item, or retail. In Chinese, to sell an item retail is expressed as 零卖, literally, to sell them scattered, that is, separately from a whole set. 这些毛巾是零卖的吗? Are these towels sold separately? Other things can be described as scattered out or not connected together. The phrase for this is 零星, literally scattered like stars in the sky. 围着小山有几个零星的小镇. Surrounding the hills are a few towns scattered here and there. 这些零星的小东西对我有用，不要丢。These little odds and ends are useful to me. Don't toss them out. 河流以东有几个零星的田地是种大豆的。There are a few scattered fields east of the river that are planted with soybeans. 山坡的森林中有零零星星的几个小木屋。A few wooden cabins dotted the hillside forest. Scattered showers, not surprisingly, is also translated by 零星。早上起了零星小雨，当天的野餐就没了。With scattered showers in the morning, that day's picnic was off. 冷冷的天气夹着零星细雨，街上无人影。The weather was cold with an intermittent drizzle. The streets were empty. When work or workers are seasonal or temporary, the expression to use is 零工, or the verb to do odd jobs is 打零工。零工通常5点半收工回家。The short-term workers usually finish work at 5:30 and go home. 男性零工的收入比女性高很多。Male gig workers earn significantly more than female workers. 高中毕业后，他在餐厅里打了7个月的零工。After graduating from high school, he did odd jobs in restaurants for 7 months. 打了半年零工之后，我找到了一份固定工作。After working part-time for half a year, I found a permanent job. And finally, the use of 零 in mathematics to indicate 0. This usage came into being because anything less than 1 is considered a fraction, or scattered bits of that number, before negative numbers begin. The character 零 officially took on this sense of less than a whole around the year 1600 and became the starting point 0. Here are some examples. 105室 or 105室 room 105. 0.025 0.025. 1050元 1050 元 1005元 1005 yuan. Notice that regardless of the number of consecutive zeros, Chinese writes only one ling, for the simple reason that the characters for tens, hundreds, thousands, etc. clearly indicate the number intended. In China, carrying around cash is almost unheard of, because swiping one's mobile phone will take care of any transaction. Not so in Taiwan, where cash transactions are still common. To make change for a large denomination bill, then, is 找零, literally, to find the bits left over. 给你，不用找零了。Here you go. Keep the change. 信用卡若使用在餐厅里，就没有找零的麻烦。By using a credit card in a restaurant, they won't have the hassle of making change. Here is our color chart with today's 4 characters. 零 冷 齿 another 零 and another 零 and yet another ling. Here's a recap of today's lesson. 1. This lesson introduced 5 characters based on ling, a person kneeling below a mouth descending from above. The first character was ling, meaning a bell, apparently because that downturned mouth was likened to a bell with a metal clapper in place of the tongue. The kneeling figure below is listening to the sound. 2. Today's second character was ling with the ear radical, which nearly always appears in combination with ting, ling ting, meaning to listen carefully, from the idea that any command from heaven must be taken seriously and followed to the letter, thus requiring one's full attention. 3. The third character, zhi, meaning teeth, was introduced because it's the semantic component of today's fourth character. Zhi itself has a rather limited use, but does figure in a few expressions, such as 口齿不清, meaning unclear speech, and 令人不齿, or 为人不齿, to describe something beneath contempt, unmentionable, literally not passing through the teeth. Today's fourth character based on 齿 is ling, which is usually found in age-related expressions, such as 年龄, 高龄, and 超龄. 4. The fifth character was 冷, meaning cold, either physical, as in 冰冷的天气 and 冷气机, or metaphorical, as in 冷门货品, 冷眼相看, 冷言冷语, 冷若冰霜, 清冷的月光, and 心灰意冷. 5. The sixth and last character was ling with the rain radical above ling, apparently referring to good rain, that light sprinkle of raindrops signaling the end of a storm. From there it was used to describe a scattered remainder or leftover fraction of anything. It can describe confused disorder, as in 凌乱, snacks outside of mealtime, as in 零食 or 零嘴, spare parts, as in 零件, to sell items separately or retail, as in 零卖, scattered out, as in 零星, to do odd jobs or seasonal work, as in 打零工, to indicate zero, as in 一零五事, to make change for paper money, as in 找零. Now you will find a short quiz on double, triple character, and longer expressions. Answer using only the characters learned so far. Thank you for watching and listening.